The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCmedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, the city will recount the ballots from last week's mayoral election. An employee at the Bristol County House of Correction is accused of smuggling drugs into the Dartmouth jail. And what is the economic outlook for Massachusetts and the South Coast? All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, November 13th, 2025. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. There will be a recount in the recently completed mayoral election in Fall River. Earlier this week, challenger Gabriel Boomer Amaral submitted certified signatures from all 9 wards to launch the recount. Last week, Mr. Amaral lost the election by over 200 votes to incumbent Mayor Paul Coogan, who is seeking his 4th term. The recount is set for Saturday.
It's going to be staffed by my office. I'll probably have some fellow election officials come in to help me with the recount. And then I believe the petitioners can have some volunteers come in to serve, to work as observers, to watch the counting of the ballots. So it's probably going to be one person observing the count and one person observing the tabulation, somebody reading the ballots to the person marking the tally sheets. Myself and my commissioners will serve as the judges of a recount. So if they're going to challenge any particular ballot, the decision will be determined by the Election Commission.
A former Bristol County House of Correction librarian has been indicted and charged with smuggling drugs into the Dartmouth jail. A grand jury indicted 46-year-old Ginger Hook of New Bedford on October 20th for conspiring with inmates to smuggle approximately $65,000 worth of synthetic marijuana into the facility. Ms. Hook worked in the House of Corrections for 18 months before resigning in July of this year. Bristol County Sheriff Paul Heroux says Ms. Hook has been a focus of an internal investigation since March.
Allegedly, the case there was an inmate working with an employee who the inmate convinced the employee to bring contraband into the jail, and the employee agreed to do that. It appears that it happened twice prior, and then the Special Investigation Unit learned of another potential for it to happen. They set up an operation, they monitored what was going on, and they eventually found that this employee was going to bring in more contraband, and they allegedly caught her in the act of doing so.
Inmates charged with drug distribution and conspiracy are 25-year-old Joseph Housley of Rehoboth, 31-year-old Brandon Barbosa Mayo of New Bedford, 33-year-old Besley Vasquez of Somerset, and 23-year-old Axel Hazard of Rhode Island. Sheriff Heroux believes this is the largest drug bust involving an employee in Bristol County jail history. He says more is being done to prevent drugs from entering the facility.
Drugs inside a jail is just a real problem, and keeping drugs out of the jail is a challenge for every jail and every prison in the country. This jail it's not unique to this jail, everywhere. We've increased the number of drug detection dogs that we have in the K-9 unit. The K-9 unit is here as well. So they're doing enhanced screening for employees, staff, and visitors when they come in. We want to try and keep drugs from coming out in the first place. We also screen the inmates when they're coming back from the court or when they're newly admitted. We issued a press release a couple weeks back about an individual who got himself arrested on purpose trying to bring drugs into the jail. He got caught in the process. But there's a lot of different things. There's the 5 different ways that people can bring drugs into jail, get drugs into jail, and those are things we have to address each one of those.
The sheriff says drug addiction remains a problem within the jail, and when drugs make their way inside, it becomes a safety issue for all.
Drugs coming into the jail is a health and safety issue for the employees as well as the inmates. You can have a lot of people here, I'd say as many as 80% of the people here at some point in their life, even recent history, were involved with drugs or have some type of mental health and substance abuse issues. There's a lot of comorbidity between the two. So people still have addiction issues, and we have drug treatment programs to try and address that. And even when inmates participate in the drug treatment programs, like the medically assisted treatment program, the MAP program, where they're getting Suboxone or methadone, they sometimes still try and smuggle that back to the housing units. Sometimes the inmates don't want to do that, though. Sometimes they don't want to smuggle the stuff back to the housing units. But what happens is they're sometimes bullied, pressured, threatened to bring drugs back to the housing units. If they don't comply, other inmates back in the housing units become violent. So when inmates become violent, then it becomes a safety issue for them, but also for the officers who have to break up the fights.
Congressman Jake Auchincloss visited our FRC Media studios a few weeks ago. He says during the 2024 election, Democrats were rightly accused of being condescending in speaking to voters. He believes the party should focus their message on pocketbook issues.
Middle class pays more than half their take-home pay on housing, healthcare, and utilities right now. And those three sectors suffer from cost disease, right? And cost disease is when prices go up faster than wages year over year. Democrats need to be doctors of cost disease. We've got to build 5 million more homes in this country. We've got to invest in community health centers and long-term care so that we drive down the cost of housing and healthcare. We've got to build with nuclear, with geothermal, with offshore wind, with solar, with hydro power, tens of gigawatts more of energy abundance so that we can lower a major primary input for this economy. But basically, we got to start building as a party and stop condescending. We do those two things, we build, we stop condescending. I think we can reach back out to the everyday American who felt like in 2024 they didn't have a good choice.
In preparation of next year's midterm elections, the congressman says the party that can tap into the interest of the political center should do well.
We have to recognize that the time has come to redefine a new center and to borrow the best ideas from across the ideologies of American life. From progressives, their commitment to invest in a level playing field. From libertarians, their skepticism of centralized and personalized power. From traditional conservatives, their respect for faith, family, and the flag. From liberals, the upholding of rule of law. I mean, every ideological faction has some good ideas. And if we put a straitjacket on and say that we're only going to take ideas from one of them, we will fail to define a center that the big middle of this country, the 2/3 of this country who feel like they're part of an exhausted majority, can rally behind. If Democrats do that, we can win. If we don't, MAGA will become that new center.
In the meantime, Congressman Auchincloss remains focused on 2 economic development projects of interest to Fall River.
One would be the redevelopment along the Taunton River of the 17 acres that was formerly an industrial site. Now with the investments in pedestrianizing that infrastructure, we can build a lot of housing. And so I've been able to rally some federal dollars behind that, and would love to see that become a really thriving, walkable, mixed-use development where seniors, where young families, where young professionals can live, supported by SouthCoast Rail. And then the other has been the workforce and advanced manufacturing potential here. We've got a lot of talented people in southeastern Massachusetts. We've got a really strong legacy of advanced manufacturing. And Massachusetts in general, and southeastern Massachusetts, I think in particular, needs to lean into that. What we're really good at is the high mix, high value manufacturing, the stuff that requires precision development paired with some basic research.
Elsewhere, the congressman is working on legislation to regulate social media platforms focused on protecting children and increasing platform accountability while balancing the rights of free speech.
So raising the age of internet adulthood. Right now, it's functionally there is no age of internet adulthood online. I think that doesn't make sense to most parents I talk to. They think 16 is about the age when you should be able to sign terms and conditions with companies that control private information about you. We should be banning these smartphones in schools, give kids some breathing room from screens so they can actually learn. We should be requiring interoperability and data privacy standards across these platforms. And then when it comes to what you're talking about in particular, the Section 230 reforms, it's not telling anybody what they can or cannot post. You're welcome to go on it and say Jake Auchincloss is a knucklehead or whatever. What it is saying is, if you do something that in the real world would be illegal, in the real world it's illegal, so it's harassment, or it is libel, or sedition, or defamation, things that we have defined over 1,000 years of common law as a tort, is what lawyers would call a tort. If you do that on a platform, the platform actually does have a duty of responsibility to scrub that and to save it for legal record keeping. They're not immune because they are making an editorial decision to amplify it. And they can't just claim that they're a bookstore. No, they are in fact the piping that promotes it.
Business leaders across the South Coast recently heard the status of the state's economy at a forum sponsored by the One South Coast Chamber of Commerce. Doug Howgate of the Massachusetts Taxpayers Foundation says the state remains attractive for people to live due to its quality of education and health care. More people move away due to the overall high cost of living.
When you look under the hood at what people value, they absolutely value the attributes of healthcare and education, right? I think people really take a lot of pride in the fact that they believe, and this is statewide, we'll get into some geographic variation here, but people take a lot of pride and really believe in the fact that if by living in Massachusetts, they have opportunities for their children to get an excellent education, they believe they have access to excellent healthcare. But concerns related especially to tax, housing, and energy costs are pretty persistent, right? These fundamentals of whether you're a business or you're an individual, where you can actually live. Southeastern Massachusetts pretty consistently ranks less positively on Massachusetts than the other regions, right? And so you see kind of similar shading, right? So it's still healthcare and education that are more positive, but slightly less positive than they are statewide. And concerns related to housing, related to taxes, related to energy are more pronounced in southeastern Massachusetts than they are in other regions.
Dr. Michael Goodman, professor of public policy at UMass Dartmouth, says despite revenue concerns, the state's fiscal health is strong.
The state, and represented here very ably, has managed its resources, I think, incredibly well. We have record levels of stabilization funds. That doesn't mean that everything can be paid for. This is not your Christmas Club savings account sort of thing. This is for emergencies. And if we have an emergency, if we were to have, to Doug's point earlier, a 2008, 2009 level experience, there's just simply not enough money that we have to get through that alone. And I'm not sure the federal government will be quite as reliable a partner this time as they were during the worst of the pandemic, and certainly during the so-called Great Recession.
With so much uncertainty around the economy, it's unclear as whether the country may soon be facing another recession.
Who knows what's going to happen, right? I think any of us would stand here and say, we can say with certainty what is going to happen with the economy over the next month or two. I can't tell you, right? What I can tell you is my uncertainty range is greater than it normally is, and I think the downside risk is significant, right? That can I tell you that we're not going to have a recession in the next year? I can't tell you that. And what we know is when there is a recession, the impact of that on the state budget in terms of lost tax collections blows most other federal actions out of the water, right? Even federal Medicaid cuts, things like that. The impact of something like a Great Recession on tax collections is orders of magnitude greater.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Stocking Team Associate. Walmart, located at 638 Quikasham Street, seeks a full-time stocking team associate, responsible for unloading trucks and stocking new freight in the back room. Job number 233-47630. Cultivation Agent. Cresco Labs, located at 1 West Street, is looking for a full-time cultivation agent, responsible for providing on-site cultivation for one or more medical cannabis gardens. Job number 233-52347. Patient Transporter. St. Anne's Hospital, located at 795 Middle Street, is seeking a full-time patient transporter, responsible for providing transportation for patients, specimens, mail, medical records, equipment, and other related duties as assigned. Job number 233-52138. Wheelchair Van Driver. Community Connections, located at 1784 North Main Street, is urgently looking for a part-time wheelchair van driver. For more information, call 508-678-3292. Diamond Regional Vocational Technical High School, located at 251 Stonehaven Road, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Registered nurse instructors, job number 233-48116. Boys basketball coaches, job number 233-48167. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.tcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
My name is David Perry. I'm the president of the Greater Fall River Food Pantry. And what we do here is we provide food to clients that are in need. We're always trying to get more people involved in what we're doing. And we're trying to concentrate on youth, and it's all about helping people, and that's what we should all be doing, is helping someone. So it's a great opportunity for them to, come down here and give us a couple of hours a week. It's not long, it's 2 hours a day, and once they start volunteering, it's like a family, it really is. So getting these younger people involved, it's just great. It's great to see, it's great to have younger generations seeing what's going on in the real world, as we call it, and helping out.
I've gotten a new outlook on the community. I've been able to see all sides, helped me learn just a lot about Fall River as a whole.
We like to get students in from 14 years of age and older. It's not about the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry. It's about what the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry does as an outreach. We want to reach out to the community. Most schools require that the students put in volunteer hours. We're a perfect example of receiving those students, and that way they get their hours accredited, and it gives them a good learning experience.
Volunteering here made you feel good, felt like you were helping out the community, and also it really helped me out with making my application stand out with having volunteer hours on them. Like when I'm applying for jobs, I've been on the hunt right now, and I've done a lot more interviews since I did charity work here. Makes you really stand out, and also just feels good helping out the community.
I love hearing other people's lives, how other people live, other people's families. It's interesting, and I really like to do this work.
Come down and see what it's like. Come down and take an opportunity to help someone else. Come and see what's really happening in the world out there.
Time again in our program where we take a look at some of the new businesses and economic development activity here in Fall River. I'm joined by Kevin Lawrence. He's the owner, editor, and publisher of Fall River Development News, which you can find on Facebook. Kevin, how are you?
Very well. Happy to be here speaking with you again, Keith.
All right, let's get started. We got a couple of items on the agenda this week. First up is what has been a long time vacant auto repair shop that's sort of on the east side of Bedford Street near Eastern Avenue. It looks like it's going to be taken up by another auto repair facility.
Yeah, this is 30 Baj Street. Hope we're pronouncing that right. Walter's Super Service Repair Garage formerly occupied the spot at 30 Baj Street. It's been vacant for years. It looks like it may be utilized again. The concrete building features an 11-bay garage, 3 of which are these large commercial-sized bays. And the property is set on about an acre of land. It's a very large property. It's a dead-ended street right off of Bedford Street near Eastern Avenue. And it's on the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting agenda for November. And an entity is looking to reestablish the property as an automobile repair facility. We'll find out more at the upcoming Zoning Board meeting, but it looks like that property will be coming back to life again.
Yeah, it's also in the area of the city, as you said. It's a small, short, dead-end street.
Yeah.
I think it's a block down on Bedford from Eastern Avenue, and it pretty much takes up that whole street when you look at it on a map.
Yeah. It's a large parcel of land and a couple of large buildings, and they're in bad shape right now. It's a blighted property, so that'll bring some new economic activity for that end of the city, and a new auto repair facility, possibly to have your vehicle repaired at.
All right. Speaking of blighted properties, there's one on East Main Street, which hopefully will soon become new apartments in that area of the city.
This is 421 East Main Street. The property right now features an apartment building. It's been vacant for quite a while, very blighted. It's an eyesore to the neighborhood. It has 4 units. A new entity called River Investment Properties LLC is seeking to put a 6-unit apartment building, new construction at 421 East Main Street in Fall River. They're also requesting a special permit to construct a new parking facility there as well. So I'm sure the neighbors will be happy that some activity will be happening at this blighted site, which is an eyesore for that neighborhood. And if this is approved by the upcoming Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, we'll have 6 new apartment units on East Main Street.
Yeah, and on East Main Street, this is between Globe and Slade Streets on
Okay.
East Main. That's where this facility is, this building is located. And if you look at the photo, which we showed, looks like that's a nice looking building to have some of those apartments in there. It looks like it could suit it well.
Absolutely. But the thing, they're going to need a variance and a special permit
Yeah.
because they're going to go from 4 units to 6 units. They are going to have off-street parking apparently on the site, so that may help their case.
Yep. All right. You can find out more about Kevin's work on Fall River Development News by visiting him on Facebook. All right, Kevin, thank you for your time. We'll talk again next week.
Thank you, Keith.
My name is David Perry. I'm the president of the Greater Fall River Food Pantry. And what we do here is we provide food to clients that are in need. We're always trying to get more people involved in what we're doing. And we're trying to concentrate on youth, and it's all about helping people, and that's what we should all be doing, is helping someone. So it's a great opportunity for them to, come down here and give us a couple of hours a week. It's not long; it's 2 hours a day, and once they start volunteering, it's like a family. It really is. So getting these younger people involved, it's just great. It's great to see. It's great to have younger generations seeing what's going on in the real world, as we call it, and helping out.
I've gotten a new outlook on the community. I've been able to see all sides, helped me learn just a lot about Fall River as a whole.
We like to get students in from 14 years of age and older. It's not about the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry. It's about what the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry does as an outreach. We want to reach out to the community. Most schools require that the students put in volunteer hours. We're a perfect example of receiving those students, and that way they get their hours accredited, and it gives them a good learning experience.
Volunteering here made you feel good, felt like you were helping out the community, and also it really helped me out with making my application stand out with having volunteer hours on them. Like when I'm applying for jobs, I've been on the hunt right now, and I've done a lot more interviews since I did charity work here. Makes you really stand out, and also just feels good helping out the community.
I love hearing other people's lives, how other people live, other people's families. It's interesting, and I really like to do this work.
Come down and see what it's like. Come down and take an opportunity to help someone else. Come and see what's really happening in the world out there.
That's all for this week's edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for more local news and information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. on Channel 95 and the Fall River HD channel located on Channel 1072. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.